Have you ever thought that maybe there was a possibility the media wasn't fully honest about what they were talking about? That maybe there was a possibility that they had an agenda? That maybe they twisted anything that came out to fit their agenda? And you still want to understand the truth. You still want to understand what is going on, but you're not sure where to go. That's exactly why I created these rankings. We have a 5-factor model here where we rank each candidate on Instagram using data around people's actual behavior versus a opt-in poll that has 1,000 people in it, or 673 people in it, or 1,260 people in it. It is completely biased by the media, where you can see all of these show Biden winning. So I've got an amazing video for you today. And with that being said, if this is your first time here, what's good? My name is Sam, and for those of you who are returning, it's good enough I can see you. So we've covered this in our search volume history yesterday, and many of the other ones. We do one of these polls every single day, 6 days a week. Tomorrow is going to be the YouTube rankings of each YouTube channel, so make sure you press that subscribe button. But there's many different biases in here, like just the sampling, how you get the data. We're not going to get into any of that today. Let's get into the data to start with. But first, to back up what we were saying, right? Like maybe the media actually is telling the truth, right? So I don't, by the way, I highly recommend, if you want to be successful up here, if you want to get a better picture of what is happening in reality, don't read, watch, or consume any mainstream media. I got rid of my television in 2009 because I knew in 2009 the media was a joke and had no idea what was going on in reality. So I decided to pull up an article. This is just the first one that came out from Washington Post. This says, U.S. reports more than 1,000 coronavirus deaths for 4th consecutive day, right? So you come down, there's no sources in here. You look through this, I read through this, and I never read the news. Like, it's such a waste of time. You're just filling your head with garbage. Highly recommend not doing that. And there's no sources in here where the data is coming in. So I decided to look it up myself. So this is the CDC website. You can go look this yourself, Center for Disease Control. And this is the weekly total of deaths for coronavirus, except for when we come down here, this says all deaths involving COVID. So maybe that's kind of involved, like with Herman Cain and his death, right? Because when you look up Herman Cain, who just passed away, he was a candidate for the presidency. They just talk about his battle with coronavirus. But what's really going on is Herman had stage 4 colon fucking cancer. And if you look up any fucking data, this is from the University of Texas Cancer Center, the survival rate is 30% in year 1. And then it goes down from there to 9%. But that's not the title, because that's not fitting their agenda. Let's go back to the CDC real quick. So this is the total going back from February, right, where there was 0 that week, and then it increased to 17,000 almost here. And if you look, since early July, the total deaths, and this is, remember, this is involving. So this is people like Herman Cain, who have stage 4 colon cancer, right? Who have a very low probability of surviving, right? And that's what they're talking about in this, right? So his is probably in this number, even though he had stage 4 colon cancer. So he was going to die anyway from his stage 4 colon cancer. Nothing to do with fucking COVID. He had stage 4 colon cancer, right? So if he got any type of sickness, whether he stubbed his fucking toe and got an infection, he would probably die because he had an increased risk associated with that. So we come down here and we look, and from the early July, again, the numbers have been dropping, right? Went from 4,350 to 3,800. to almost 1,300. Wow, the numbers have been dropping, but that's what? The numbers have been coming down? That's interesting because that's not what the media is reporting on. This is on a day. This says 1,000 coronavirus deaths for fourth consecutive day. But wait, CDC, right? This is where we're getting the data. You can go look this up yourself. That is the point. That is the point of these rankings. The media is a complete joke. Complete joke. The best thing you can possibly do for yourself and your own well-being is to stop filling your mind up with trash, with hate, with judgment, because that is all they are going to put in their mind. I don't give a shit if you're left or if you're right. It doesn't fucking matter. The media is a joke. So this is, again, let's see, daily updates by total, daily updates of total by week and state. So you can scroll down and see what it was by the state as well. But this says 1,300 for the week, but this says per day. That's kind of fucking misleading, and they don't give any sources where the data is coming from. Well, that's interesting because it's from the Washington fucking Post, right? And look at all these. This is from New York Times, from Dias. This is he dies because of coronavirus, and they're saying, oh, Republicans rethinking their views on the virus and masks. The dude had fucking stage 4 colon cancer. Survival rates, look up the data, are extremely low. Like, it's, what? How are these people in? I don't even call them, I don't like to call them the news, because news implies some type of like objectivity. News implies some type of like value to society. News implies that there's going to be some type of accuracy in the information that's put forth. What the fuck is going on in this country? To call these things news is a joke. He didn't die because of coronavirus. He had stage 4 colon cancer. What? This is laughable to me, how crazy the media is, period. So with that being said, let's get into the actual data of people's behavior. We used a site called Social Blade, and we took a look at each candidate's Instagram handle. And we took a look at 3 separate factors from this site. Then we look at hashtag usage, and then we looked at Google Trends to compile these together to understand what people's behavior is and who is actually winning, right? Because again, if we go back to the beginning here, this is what the media reports on. You know, ABC News, 673 people say that Biden's going to win. This poll right here from IBD, 1,160 people are represented what the collective 330 million people in America think. You don't have to be into statistics or mathematics. You use this, right? You're an intelligent human being. Use this and just think for yourself. That's all you need to do, right? So what we did is we took the total number of followers for each candidate. We can see here that Trump had 531,000 plus new followers over the last 30 days. Let's take a look at that. Well, Biden had 323,000. Okay, well, that goes to Trump. Right? It's like 1.5 times as many followers. Okay, a little bit more than that, actually. Let's go to some factors that include people's engagement, right? Because maybe you have people who just don't have anything better to do with their time than consume the other candidate on both sides, right? We have a lot of people who support Trump that just look for Biden's like next flub, and we have a lot of people who don't like Trump who follow Trump, right? So it's on both sides, so you could discount maybe the about 20% in general, right? We take a look at the average number of comments. This is over the last 20 posts. We can see Trump has 22,000, almost 23,000 average number of comments per post versus 4,500. So wait a second. There's a shitload of data here, right? This is 27,000 different data points here versus 1,160. What is actually the fuck going on? How does anybody possibly think this is reality? It's an honest question. You can let me know down below in the comments. How does anybody actually think this is reality? I don't get it. Maybe they're living in 2016, where again, the farce, the complete lack of like any accuracy in the data showed us what would have happened. If we used my methodology, we would have accurately predicted who would have won. But remember, accuracy, objectivity, the truth are not things the media wants. It's not things the educational system generally wants, right? Education system and the media, which direction do they lean, left or right? Well, they definitely lean left on aggregate. So we have we have like a 5-to-1 ratio, meaning there's 5 comments for Trump for every 1 comment for Biden. Kind of interesting. Let's look a bit again at the average number of likes per post, right? Because this gives us a good indicator of people who are actually supporting a post. Because I would like to think that the people who just don't have anything better to do with their time on either side than to judge or hate the other candidate, whether you're for Trump or whether you're for Biden, and if you take the time to consume the other person's content and you don't have an open mind, you don't have, your ego isn't front and center to understanding that person's point of view, and your sole point is to go over there and hate and judge, whether you're on one side or the other. I think a good question for you is, first of all, what are you doing with your life to possibly think that is an intelligent way to spend your time, the only thing in this planet that we can't get back, the preciousest resource in the fucking planet, consuming hate and judgment? What do you think is going on up here? Why do you think there's so many mental issues going on in this country right now? When people actually think that's an intelligent use of their time, instead of making themselves a better human being. Read a fucking book. Listen to a podcast. Do the 17 things around your house or apartment or in your life that you've telling yourself you need to do and you haven't fucking done. It just blows my mind. So the people who actually like each other's posts, meaning people who like Trump posts for people who like Biden's posts, I would like to think that the people who go over there and judge and hate on each other on either side are probably not going to like the post. Because when you think about a heart is some indication of affection, right? There's a connotation associated with a heart of affection, right? And through that affection, there's an indication of support, right? So when you look at this, it's almost 7-to-1, meaning for every 7 likes and hearts that Donald Trump gets on one of his posts, Biden gets 1. But that, my friends, is not what's reported by the media. It's not. Let's go on to the next thing. This is the total number of hashtag usage over time for Biden 2020. We can see that it has 140,266. And the objective of showing you where all the data comes from, is so that you can go look at it yourself. One of the things that you do when you do surveys and polls is you actually take, it's called stratification, and the stratification of the data, right? So you collect all this data, and this is what you're trying to like draw some assumptions about, right? So you take all this data, and then you literally go through and you stratify it to what you're trying to compare it to. And in layman's terms, that, my friends, is just literally manipulation of the data. Manipulating the data to suit what you want reality to be. Period. That's it. Pretty simple. That's it. That's what's done in every single one of these. And the sample size is 1,000 fucking people. So what is Trump's? Well, let's take a look here. We have, and this is kind of funny here. We have almost 2.5 million usages of Trump 2020 versus Biden 2020. Again, let me repeat that. Almost 2.5 million people it has been used on Instagram for Trump 2020 versus Biden 2020 of 140,000. Trump had 70+ thousand increases from the last time we did this last week to this week. That's half of what Biden has in aggregate. That means total, for those of you who don't know the word. Right? That's astonishing. But wait, again, that's not what's reported here. Let's take a look at the next factor. This is the total web search, right? So this is when Google is the #1 website in the planet, and they're the #1 search engine in the planet. So they give us this cool tool called Google Trends. You can go over there and search for this yourself. We put in Donald Trump Instagram and Joe Biden Instagram. So this is when somebody goes to Google and they search for this term in the United States over the last 12 months, right? And we get to see who is actually winning. And even when we come into the last 30 days, we can see a huge difference here. So I use the data for the 12 months here. So let's actually update this to just the last 30 days here and show you what actually each percentage of the total volume each one of them is getting on average. So we can see here that Trump is getting 74% of all the search volume for those two phrases, Donald Trump Instagram versus Joe Biden Instagram. So again, 3-1 on the site where they have 90% plus market share of all searches in the planet. And we're looking at searches in the United States. So there's millions of data points. Millions of people are looking for Trump versus Biden. What is going on here? We can take a look at the same data when it's relevant to each candidate's website and see whose website's more popular. You can go check that video out. It was released yesterday to understand what's going on. Because the media is definitely not going to tell you what is happening. We've already seen that. Not only from the Washington Post here, who just doesn't actually report any sources where they're getting their information from, because that's not what the data says. Even if you just come to the source yourself, CDC website, that's not what's reported here. And remember, these are cloudy numbers because this is all deaths involving. So that's kind of a shady definition, right? What does that mean? Because I'm sure that Herman Cain's number is in there, even though he had stage 4 colon cancer with the probability of survival very low. If you believe in the truth, and you believe that the truth wins in the end, take a moment and share this video, whether it's on Twitter, on Instagram, or somewhere else. Share this video with somebody so we can spread the truth of what is actually taking place in this country. It's about time we start standing up. This is the first time in history where we have a voice. We, the people, have a voice. And the media is losing their power. They've already lost their credibility to a great extent. And they're losing their power to control the minds of the American public. Take a moment, press that thumbs up button, it helps out the YouTube algorithm, and then share this video with somebody. If you guys have any thoughts, questions, leave them down below in the comment section, or jump over to Twitter or Instagram down below in the description, and you'll find the links for those. I appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you soon. By the way, make sure you subscribe and press that bell notification so YouTube can notify you when I drop the YouTube channel rankings tomorrow. That is one of my favorite videos. It has the YouTube channel for Donald Trump and the YouTube channel for Joe Biden. Joe Biden was gaining ground last week. So make sure you press that subscribe button, that bell notification to see if Joe Biden has gained more ground when that video drops tomorrow. Peace. Appreciate you.